Hi, and welcome to today's Pick a Card reading. So for today, we're going to be looking at Do They See Me with Love or Lust? This is a question that a viewer suggested that I do. Elena wanted to know, does he see me with love or lust, right? So I'm just going to do a little bit of a extension of that, just in that for some of them they might see you with both, okay? And of course for some of them they might not see you with either. So I think that this is going to be a really kind of interesting reading, and I'm looking forward to starting. So let's go ahead and tell you which piles is which. Purple's number 1, blue is number 2, green is number 3, yellow is number 4, and black is number 5. Okay, so as you guys are thinking about which pile you're gonna pick, just wanted to go ahead and say thank you so much to those who have made monetary donations this week. I have had a lot of them, and I really, really appreciate it. And all of that is going to go back to the channel. Okay, so it's going to be going to equipment and cards and the little markers that I use, stuff like that. So I just want to let you guys know that. Anything you need to know about me is in the description. You guys can still take advantage of 2018 prices until the 31st. And again, if you want 15% off your first reading in 2019, then just send me an email and let me know you want on that list. And it doesn't mean that you have to pay, you don't have to buy one. It's just, if you're on the list, if you decide that you want one later on, you'll be there, that's it. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with pile number 1. Okay, and those of you who haven't picked, please pause the video and so that you can take a little bit more time. Okay, so those of you who picked the purple, let's see what we have for you. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and tell you what I have first, and then we'll interpret it. We've got the Advocate, we've got the Birds and the Clover, we've got the Queen of Cups, the Five of Rods, and the Magician, and we've got Emotional Balance. All right, guys. Just trying to fit everything on here. Okay, so I'm going to start with the tarot, like I like to. When we talk about the Magician, we talk about somebody who has everything they need to succeed, basically. They have all the tools they need to make things happen. It's a very balanced card in that it has imagery from all of the suits in them. And it's also a card that's like talks about manifestation, stuff like that. It does deal with the material world, or at least connecting the world of thought with the material world as we create. But I mean, there's nothing, there's nothing about this card that's like, okay, yes or no. It's just a positive card to have in a reading, okay? So the Five of Rods can speak to having some tension, Again, remember the nature of the question we're asking. So while the Five of Rods might mean competition and bickering and arguments in one spread, we're looking for clues about love or lust, right? So this gives me an idea that maybe there is some sexual tension there. But the thing about this card is that I don't feel like it's being realized completely, or if it is, it's not happening enough or something like that. And another thing, you guys, sexuality is weird. People are weird. Another thing that might be going on is that when the two of you like bicker, it might like be something that they like, that kind of gets them in the mood. So, just kind of keep that in mind. But I mean, this would be a card that would indicate that there are sexual feelings. Okay, so I do feel like there are sexual feelings on your person's end. And we've got the Queen of Cups, okay? The Queen of Cups is a good indicator that this person has a lot of feelings for you. And the feelings are, the Queen of Cups, she's very mature in her feelings, and she's very mature in her depths. And so I feel like it would be closer to that kind of more unconditional type of feeling, and the kind of feeling that's like very compassionate and very aware and that kind of thing. So do understand that if we're just looking at the tarot cards, it looks like this person feels a lot more for you than they just want to be with you physically, okay? There's more feelings there than physical, physical desire. But that doesn't mean that there isn't physical desire. It's just that this is a situation where this person is they're more on that level the level that one would want a person to be on if they want a lasting relationship with them. If you're just looking like, okay, can I maybe hook up once or twice with this person, I wouldn't think that this person would be the best person to do it with. And the reason I'd say that is that we also have emotional balance here, harmony, getting along, stability, peace. That also lets me know that the Five of Rods has more to do with sexual tension than anything else. And if you were to just try to be intimate with this person and that's it, I feel like that emotional balance would just break. I don't feel like it would. Be a good, it just wouldn't be a positive situation for them. They see you as an advocate, that you're also very compassionate. So like that Queen of Cups energy, and with the heart the heart centers being open to that give and take and all of that good stuff, it really feels to me like they are trying to match you with their emotions. They're trying to it's like they're trying to mirror with you. So that's great. This is looking very, very positive. And then we've got the birds and the clover, and that lets me know that the two of you, you might have started out as friends. It might not have started real fast. Some of you guys might still be in this situation where you don't really have a relationship, but you see each other often, maybe like at work or school or something like that. And you guys talk though, because with the birds, some people liken it to Twitter because they're like tweeting, the birds is about like kind of not really small talk, but, kind of like that, kind of nervous talking that some people can do when they're around, like their crush. Really. And then we've got the clover. Clover means luck, obviously. So this is definitely you're very lucky to have this person. Yes, there's some sexual energy there, but overall, this is much more geared towards the emotional side of things. So if I had to say, is it love or lust? This would be definitely love. But I can't necessarily say that this person is in love with you. I can say that they feel very, very strongly about you though. And this would be a really great relationship to pursue. So just kind of keep that in mind. So you guys are good. Alrighty. Okay, those of you who picked pile number 2, the blue feather, I'm trying to move these cards out of the way so you guys can see. I'm going to go ahead and tell you which cards you got, and then we're going to go ahead and interpret them, okay? So we've got the rescuer, we've got the tree, and we've got the dog. We've got the 4 of Swords, the 5 of Swords, and the 10 of Rods, okay? And then we've got love. That's an interesting thing, okay. So, let's go ahead and start with the tarot, and we'll work our way up. All right, so the 4 of Swords, this is an interesting card, and a lot of times I look at this card and I think about just, needing to take a break, like needing to take a rest, or needing to kind of like get your worries, away from you, that kind of thing. Like a spa day might be, that kind of thing. But the way that I'm looking at it right now is that it feels like your person feels like either they're a very private person or they feel like they need private time or me time or time alone. It doesn't have to do with you. It has to do with needing to recharge. Yeah, this is somebody who needs some time alone to kind of like just go over their thoughts and just, it feels like they're very cerebral. They think a lot, and all of that kind of stuff. Sometimes their thoughts trouble them, but then again, that's, everybody has that, right? But it feels like they just have too much on their mind, and they've got to kind of smooth it all out before they can kind of come back and be more talkative towards you. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind. Then we've got the Five of Swords. So there's something about this person's energy where it's like they want to be more how do I put this? They want to be more dominant. Like they want to be more like, I've totally won this. The Five of Swords can represent defeat because of the people in the background, okay? So I do want to mention that, but the person in the foreground, the subject of the card, is like, he's, not only did he defeat them, but he's also taking their stuff. It's like he wants to assert that he has done this thing, right? So, so the kind of energy that I'm getting from it, especially coupled with this, is that he's just kind of getting fired up, and he's trying to clear his mind so he can start feeling more powerful, and this doesn't necessarily mean that this guy's a narcissist or this girl is, a control freak or anything like that, okay? This doesn't necessarily mean that your person's got mental issues or anything like that. It's just that right now they feel weak and they want to feel empowered. So that's what they're doing here. And then we've got the Ten of Rods. So it's like this, really, your person's got a lot on their mind, okay? So when we look at love or lust, I'm not getting either one from this. I'm getting more that they've got to just get some downtime, and they've got to, like, kind of clear the air. They've got to get rid of some things, and then they've got to figure out what they can and can't do, and they want to feel empowered in this situation. And, we don't have a partner in the picture here, However, we do have the rescuer. So this person wants to provide strength and support, okay? And they want to, and they really do want to be selfless in this situation. And that might be exactly why they're trying to rest, so that they can help you again, It's like, I don't know, like, it's interesting. I was talking to a friend, like an hour ago, okay? And we were talking about my business, and we were talking about ways that I could organize it better for 2019. And I had gotten frustrated with a program that I was using, and I just sent him a string of messages, and I was like, I'm so overwhelmed. I don't know how to do this, and I feel like I've done nothing for the past hour, and I've got to make these videos and all of that stuff, and the first thing he said was, "What can I do to help?" It wasn't like, oh man, that's too bad, or anything like that. It wasn't like, oh, okay, well, see you later, bye, It was like, how can I help? I feel like this is the same kind of person that would want to help you. I also feel like this is the kind of person that would want to fix things too, though. Not necessarily the kind of person that might get involved really, really strongly emotionally. Not because they don't have emotions, but because they, because they just don't express their emotions as easily as other people do. They express their emotions by sharing ideas with you. They express emotions by doing things for you, thinking about you, acts of kindness, that kind of thing. That's the kind of way that they show their feelings, and this person's not going to change like that, this person's the kind of person that's just really not very emotional. That can be good, though, because it can be very stable. And that's kind of what we have here we've got the dog in the tree, and that means that right now you guys have a really healthy friendship. When you add love to that, and look at that, it's got a dog, okay? It's like you have a very loving friendship, okay? This is a situation that can get to that point, okay? It can get to the point of love. But your person has a lot to work on right now. They're stressed, you know, they've just got a lot to work on. But what you'll see is that they will be communicating with you, okay? And they will also, you know, they'll try to help, you know, just like my friend, you know, they'll be like, you know, how can I help? What can I do? You know, that kind of thing. They're gonna insert themselves into your life more and more. And this love is growing, okay? And I just think it's so cool that, you know, the two decks both pulled up dogs. I really think that that's significant. And I've got to say, you know, I think one of the biggest reason why this relationship's so healthy is that a relationship built on friendship already has such a strong foundation that it can really blossom and grow. So basically, you know, the question is this person, you know, is it love or is it lust? I'm not getting, you know, sexual energy hardly at all here. You know, the tree can like represent like physical health and physical, you know, physical vitality and things like that. But there isn't like an overarching theme of sexuality in this particular spread, okay? So I would say between the two, I would go with love. And I would also say, though, that your person, the way that they express love is not as like strong and sweeping and romantic, let's say, as you know, a Disney film, right? So just kind of, you know, really keep that in mind, that that's just the way they are. You know, it doesn't mean that they don't have those feelings. It's just that's the way they are, okay? So this looks like a very solid relationship, and it looks like it could be very, very successful as a romantic relationship too. All right, pile 3. Those of you guys who picked the green feather, I'm going to go ahead and tell you what you've gotten, and then we are going to interpret it, okay? We've got the Liberator, we've got the Book, we've got Love, we've got the Nine of Rods, we've got the Wheel of Fortune, and we've got the Empress, and we have Connection. All right, so this looks very positive for you guys. So let's go ahead and see. Start with the tarot, okay? So we've got the Nine of Rods, okay, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Empress. So we've got 2 major arcana cards. Some people pronounce that arcana. I pronounce it arcana. I apologize if that offends anybody. But, you know, the Wheel of Fortune, when we get it, it's good because it means that we're kind of going up on the Wheel of Fortune, okay? But, you know, you do have to keep in mind that, you know, life isn't about always being lucky. You know, you will go through cycles, and sometimes it's going to feel like your life's not so lucky, and sometimes it's going to feel like, wow, I'm really getting stuff done, and I've got, you know, I've got this, you know, I've got the job, I've got the girl, I've got the house, you know, that kind of thing. You know, it's like sometimes things are going to be looking really, really up. So in this relationship, when we're looking at, you know, does this person have more love energy or lust energy? The Wheel of Fortune is like, you're very lucky, because I really feel like there's both going on. But I feel like, especially in context with the other cards, that it's more love feelings, okay? The Nine of Rods, you know, this is like kind of, this is kind of like, you know, lining things up, and they've got like one last thing to do. So it's like, I feel like this is one of those situations where it's like, once something clicks, and I mean, this can happen pretty quickly, you know, too. Regardless of the time that you watch this video, it's going to happen like within the week or maybe 2 weeks at the most. You know, it's going to be pretty quick. Once they get this last thing taken care of, they're going to make sure that they're going to be there for you. They're going to be communicating with you. They're going to be somebody you can rely on, and then you'll enjoy that abundance with the Empress. If you are being sexual and you don't want to get pregnant, I just want to mention that the Empress does represent fertility. So if you don't want to get pregnant, go ahead and do what you need to do to make sure that you're using protection. If you do, then this is a positive sign, okay? So just want to mention that. And, basically just from the tarot cards, we're not necessarily getting love or lust, but we are getting positive stuff, okay? So you're really in a positive situation in this relationship. There's abundance with the Empress, and then you've got the Nine of Rods. It's like you're almost there, okay? So, here, let me go ahead and move this. Let's go to the Liberator. Okay, so, this person, like, and I think that you both do this for one another, but this person really does affect the way that you think. It's like you put things through a new filter when you're around them, and it's like you start seeing the world through their eyes, and by doing that, you're able to kind of get rid of some of the old ways of thinking that you have and replace them with new, better ways of thinking, and that's really good. It's like both of you guys can be more free because of that. And I feel like you do the same for your person as well. So, keep that in mind too. I mean, the Liberator is a very positive figure. It's somebody who, this is somebody who helps, okay? They don't hurt, they help. And that's the thing around here. So we've got the Love card, okay? This is basically the card you want if you want to know is it love or lust, okay? Well, here's your answer. It's love, okay? But when you pair that with the book, the book's about knowledge. The book's about, what do we know about the situation? And I feel like in this situation, there's still a mystery about whether or not your person feels this for you. Or it's kind of like, it can be interpreted in another way, and that can be like, well, I know they care about me. I know they love me, or I know that they, want to be with me, or something like that. But it feels to me like most of you, it's going to apply in the other way. It's like they haven't revealed that to you yet. But please know that you are connecting, you are connected to, and I just want to read these like little keywords for you. We've got universal oneness, love, interconnection, and support. So we even have love appearing on this card too. Overall, this is an extremely positive reading. I don't see anything negative about it. Nothing at all. I mean, unless you have issues with getting this one thing to fall in place. There's nothing here that shows that this shouldn't be smooth. So if it's not smooth, kind of try to challenge this person on their beliefs. And try to ask him, what, is there anything that I can help you with? Is there anything that you need, a new perspective on, or something like that? Because, they just have to get this thing done. And once they do that, then they'll be ready to share that knowledge that they are in love with you, or that they do have romantic feelings for you. Okay. So, and this also feels like it's gonna be for a long time too. It doesn't feel like this is fleeting at all, and I think that that's mostly because of the major arcana cards, the fact that you got the literal love card, and just the imagery in this card, and the heart energy being open. So yeah, I mean, this is great. So is it love or lust? I'm getting a very, very heavy love on this situation. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if the two of you haven't even been intimate before. Just because, and I'm only saying that because this person does care about you that much. That it's completely eclipsing any kind of sexual energy. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind. I mean, it doesn't mean that they don't feel that way about you. It just means that they feel this love feeling for you so much more. Okay. Alrighty, guys. Okay, those of you who picked the yellow, I know that it's kind of like brownish orange to some people. It looks yellow to me, so that's what I call it. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and tell you what cards you got, and then we are going to interpret them. Okay? So we've got the Lover. We have the Sacral Chakra. We have the Seven of Pentacles. We have the Nine of Pentacles. we have Strength, and we have the Messenger and the Gift. Okay, so this is an interesting spread here. Let me go ahead and start with the tarot, and we'll just kind of move around here. Okay, so we've got the Seven of Pentacles here. The Seven of Pentacles is kind of like needing to take a step back and really think about, like, well, how do I want to proceed forward? What's the most practical thing that I can do? What's something that will increase, like, basically what will increase my success in the situation, and also what is going to be what I focus on, and that kind of thing. And then the Nine of Pentacles, that, you know, and the fact that it's coming right next to it, it gives me this feeling that there's enough like material comfort in order for the two of you to feel very at ease around one another. Like, there's not a situation going on where the two of you are really struggling. And this doesn't, I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean that this has to do with money. It's just that you guys have what you need in order to have a relationship of whatever kind. You know, that's the way it's coming out. And then with Strength, I really like this in this particular reading, because with the Strength card, it's like it's talking about discipline. You know, it's talking about discipline and wisdom here. Okay, but then we've got the Lover. Okay, great passion and devotion, unbridled appreciation of someone or something. Okay, so the Lover, you know, that of course conjures up feeling, you know, ideas of, you know, sexual energy and all of that good stuff. But it's also, you know, it also is, you know, it's a sweet way of looking at sexual energy as well. So I do feel that this person, when they have sexual feelings for you, they see this as a stable situation. And I think they're even holding back. They could be holding back on their feelings or on their sexual desires with the Strength card, okay? But I feel like this person sees you in both lights, okay? The Sacral Chakra coming up, that lets you know that, yeah, they do. I mean, this is more along the line of passion and sexual energy and that kind of thing. This would be a chakra that is definitely aligned with sexuality and that kind of stuff. So I am getting that there is you know, sexual issues going on, you know, around the two of you. You know, either, for example, there's sexual tension, or there's a you know, there's a desire there that's either not being met, or maybe it's happening a lot and your person wants to kind of focus more on the more romantic side of things, and the more like, although I'm not saying sex isn't romantic, it can be, but I'm just saying, you know, on the more like, I guess, courtly kind of things, you know. And then we've got a Messenger. Okay, so you're gonna hear from this person really quick. I would put this in like the next week. Okay, so if you haven't been hearing from this person, you're gonna hear from them very quickly. And you've got them wanting to give you a gift. It's like, I feel like they want to give to you and demonstrate that they care about you, so that, you know, the balance between that caring and that sexual energy can, you know, kind of even out. If I had to say, I would say that the sexual energy is just a little bit stronger than the love energy, but the love energy is there, and that's what matters, you know. So there's, you know, they're fond of you. They see you as somebody who's great to be around. They feel very relaxed around you. It feels very like natural for them to be around you, and you've got, you know, and they feel like they can be themselves, but there's just a little bit of holding back. And I think that that's just because when we're in situations like that, sometimes we worry that maybe the person won't like us if we say or do certain things and all of that kind of stuff. You know, that's just normal. That's just normal stuff. But yeah, I mean, you're going to hear from them. You'll probably receive a gift from, would just say that they see you as a gift in their life. You know, you got the lover, so that's pretty strong, you know. I really think that this is a positive situation, though. And again, I would say this is more sexual energy than love energy, but the love energy is definitely there too. So it's not just a person who's just lusty and wanting to be with you sexually. This is more than just that, okay? Alrighty. Okay, here's the last pile. Those of you who picked the black feather. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you what you got, and then we'll analyze it, okay? So I'm going to start with the tarot cards that are right here. So we've got the Knight of Swords, the Queen of Rods, the Two of Rods. We've got the Letter. We've got the Flowers, the Lilies. We've got Prince, and we've got Pleasure. Okay, I want to go ahead and first start with the Lenormand. I usually start with the tarot, but I really want to address this. This is the sex card in Lenormand, okay? This is a card that represents sexuality. It represents, you know, that they, you know, it represents sexuality, you know, that kind of stuff. And then you've got this right next to a letter. It's like, okay, well, maybe they're going to be on some kind of internet service or an app or something, and they're sending you sexually charged messages, you know, that kind of thing. Like that's the way it kind of reads to me. It doesn't feel like it's in person. It feels like it's, you know, over the internet, or maybe even a letter, like a literal letter, that kind of thing. This person does feel very sexual about you. Yet in this, I think for some of you guys that are watching, they're not able to express that, because there's some kind of distance between the two of you, and so they can't express that feeling, or they can't be with you, and they want to. You know, this person wants to go through that door and explore, you know, and they want to go towards you. We've got the Queen of Rods. You know, Rods is the more, I would say, the more sexual of all the different suits. And the reason I'd say that is that this is associated with fiery energy, it's associated with dramatic energy, it's associated with taking action, and that kind of stuff. So it does feel like it's kind of a more physical energy. But given that it's the queen, you know, the queen also brings with her that kind of femininity that, you know, she's got a sunflower with her. She's very happy. She's happy, and she's joyful. She brings with her the emotions and the intuition as well, as is represented in all the queens. So do keep in mind that there is a little bit of that kind of stuff going on already. And then we've got the Knight of Swords. This person really wants to take action really quickly. I really feel like if this is a like long distance situation, or a situation where you live kind of far apart, this person wants to see you. They want to see you really soon. And if this isn't that kind of situation, this person is definitely feeling really, really sexual towards you, okay? So we've got the Prince, right? And so this card is talking about romantic charm and like kind of like somebody who's kind of, you know, this is a charmer, okay? This is somebody that can use that, you know, they can use that to get what they want, okay? I'm not saying that your person is necessarily a player, but this is more the kind of person that's like, you know, a charmer, somebody who is trying to get what they want and that kind of thing. The fact that they want you isn't necessarily a bad thing. And then we've got pleasure, okay? This is enjoyment, beauty, sensuality, and indulgence. Okay, so if I have to say, this person's really looking at this situation with lust, a lot of lust. The feelings yeah, there's some charm there, and there's this Queen of Rods energy, which does let me know that there's some feelings there. So if you want to focus on those, and kind of change the energy of the situation from purely physical to kind of something more, if that's kind of what your intention is, then I would say, I would say just, just be a lot more tender as you are speaking with them, I understand that sex can sometimes be very aggressive and that kind of thing. Just be very tender and sweet with this person. And, you can do things to let them know that you like them by maybe cooking for them, or making a gesture towards them, maybe giving them a small gift, or something like that, so that they know that there's something more there. And you don't have to say it out loud. You can just do things to demonstrate that. But if you are the kind of person that wants to be real clear, then you're gonna have to tell this person that you want more than just this, because either they're going to be able to give that to you, or they're going to be like, ugh, that's not what I want, because, it's just, this isn't enough to have a strong relationship on. You've got to just nurture this energy. It's there. It's just, you've got to nurture it some more, okay? Those of you who are looking for a friends with benefit kind of situation, those of you who are looking for just somebody to have fun with and that kind of thing, this is your person, okay? This is the person to have fun with, that kind of fun. This person's, they enjoy it. They enjoy you. They find you very, very attractive. You really are their type, like more than their type, it's like you're very, very beautiful to them, and all of that kind of stuff. And again, I just, because this exists here, this Queen of Rods energy and the Prince energy with the kind of romantic charm and everything. Yeah, I understand that this could be kind of player energy, this kind of, the kind of person that just kind of might go from girl to girl. I get that, or guy to guy. Okay, I understand. There's multiple sexes here, and so that might be going on. But I do think that when you've got this coupled with the Queen of Rods, that's just too much emotional energy there for there not to be any emotions. So there are definitely emotions there. And it's not just like, I like this person because I find them somebody who can give me pleasure. It's more like, I like this person. I really do. I really like this person. But I think that, they just don't know enough about that. And I think that the Knight of Swords is like really wanting to share, some thoughts and ideas. They want to know, like, what do you think about this thing? How do you feel about this? Why do you like this movie better than that movie? Or what makes you who you are? That kind of thing. It's like they want to figure you out. So you can also use that as well. But yeah, this is definitely a situation where they feel very, very sexual towards you, and you might get some, as I call it, sexy chat. You might get some sexy chat here with the message and the sexual energy. Okay, but yeah, and I've just got to say, because I feel so led to say it, this might be somebody who's completely in love with you. Okay, this might be somebody who's completely in love with you, and it's just easier for them to express that through sexual innuendo and that kind of thing, because the feelings are too much for them. And I know that like, you look at this and you'd be like, what? That is a stretch. But the reason I'm saying that is that I'm looking at this situation and it's reminding me way too much of a situation that I've been in before, okay? Let's just put it that way. And in this situation that I've been in before, it was like there was definitely love feelings there, definitely. It's just that expressing that was kind of like taboo, and so was like obviously, like, expressing sexuality was taboo, so it kind of came out in innuendo and that kind of thing. So this could be a person that really does care, okay? I do want to mention that, because I see that there can be a few exceptions here. Yeah, and this kind of long distance here with the two of rods, it could just be that there's a whole lot of sexual tension because of that. So understand that there are. I understand that there are different situations that this could apply to, but in order for me to get more detailed, I'd have to do a private reading with you. It's like this. I can only really do this for the general public and not go into well, here's one specific thing that could be happening or this other. This is just very, very sexual energy. Okay, so keep that in mind. Alrighty. So, thank you for staying to the end of my video. I really appreciate you guys, and I love the likes and comments and the subscribes. You guys are so awesome. I do read all of your comments still. I read them all, and I just can't respond to all of them. And just so you guys know, if you have any suggestions for a pick a card reading, go ahead and put them in the comments. They will get on my list, okay? And that's all I can think about, so I'll go ahead and see you later.